Hi, everybody. It's Al from the Theater Project. But as you can probably tell from the background, I'm not at the Theater Project right now. You know, the Theater Project's closed like so many things while we get through this virus. And soon, well, pretty soon, it'll be open again and there will be classes and there will be shows and we can all play together again. But for now, we have to do it like this. I'm going to tell you a story. It's a story about Ovaltorque. Who's Ovaltorque? Ovaltorque's a litup. A litup. What's a litup, you probably wonder? Well, a litup is a little people. Hear it? Litup, little people. It's like an abbreviation for little people. How little are litups? They're about the size of your thumb, or my thumb, which may be a little bigger than your thumb. Can you see it? Ovaltorque lived with his family under a rock in the ground. That's where litups live. Oh, they had a very nice home. They had bedrooms, one for Ovaltorque, one for his mother and father, and another one for guests when litups came to visit. They had a bathroom, they had a kitchen, they had a dining room, they had a living room. Every morning they would get up. His mom would fix breakfast for his dad and him. They'd all eat together, and then his dad would go off to work. Ovaltorque didn't know what his dad did, but it seems that it was a pretty good job because, well, they had what they needed. They had a nice home, they had clothes, they had food. His mother stayed around the home, but she was very busy. She probably worked harder than the dad. She kept the home clean. She took care of the yard around the house, outside, around the rock. You wouldn't have noticed if you were wandering by unless you stopped and looked very closely. And if you did, you'd see a little tiny flower garden. You'd see a nice lawn. And you'd also see a vegetable garden with miniature vegetables that his mother planted and took good care of. So she was very busy. Ovaltorque usually stayed around home with his mother. Not usually, always. His mother didn't want him wandering off. So she said, Ovaltorque, you should stay around home. We don't know what's out there far away. We do know that not even far away, not so far away at all, there are owls and hawks who might swoop down and get you. A snake might come along, and if it was hungry, eat you up. So you better stay here. We're not sure what's out there, and we think it's probably dangerous. So Ovaltorque stayed around home with his mother. But he was curious. He wanted to know what was out there. So one day when his mother went back down into their home under the rock to do some things, Ovaltorque wandered off. And he wandered a little further, and a little further, and a little further. And pretty soon, he was far enough away that when he looked back, he didn't see the rock that they lived under. Oh, he knew how to get back there, but he had wandered quite far. So he kept going, and he came around a big boulder. Well, a big boulder to him. To us, it would be a big rock. But remember, Ovaltorque's the size of your thumb or my thumb, and so a big rock would look like a boulder to him. So he came around this boulder, and he saw some seaweed. He knew what seaweed was. His father had brought some home, little pieces of it, one day to show Ovaltorque what seaweed was. And actually, his mother cooked it up and made something very good with it. He couldn't remember what. And then beyond the seaweed, there was sand. He knew it was sand. He'd seen sand before, and his father had told him about sand. But beyond the sand, there was water. And it looked like a lot of water. And he decided he wanted to investigate. So he climbed over and under and through the seaweed until he got to the other side and was on the sand. And then a fly buzzed him. Bzzz. And he waved his hands at the fly and thought the fly had flown away. But the fly was curious, and the fly flew back. Bzzz. And Ovaltorque said, "Buzz off." And the fly buzzed back again. Bzzz. And Ovaltorque said, "Buzz off." And the fly buzzed back and forth, wondering what Ovaltorque was. And Ovaltorque finally said at the top of his voice, "Buzz, buzz off." Now, not far away from where Ovaltorque was, on a power pole, at the very top of the power pole, was a great big nest. It was an eagle's nest. It was Buzz Eagle's nest, where Buzz lived with his wife and their two eaglets, two young eagles. And Buzz was just about to fly off to go fishing and bring back some fish for dinner when he heard "Buzz." And he wondered who was calling him. And then he heard it again, "Buzz." Who is that? And then he heard "Buzz, buzz, buzz," a little louder. And he decided he'd have to go see who it was. So he stretched his wings out, and his wings stretched out from tip to tip 6 feet. That's as tall as I am. It's an inch taller. That's very big. And he brought those wings down and he lifted off the nest. And he raised them again and brought them down, and he lifted higher. And he raised them and brought them down and raised them and brought them down until he was soaring high in the sky, headed for the beach. And as he flew, he looked. Now, eagles, as you may know, have amazing eyesight. So as he looked down, he saw this little tiny creature saying, "Buzz, buzz off." And he thought, that's where it's coming from. And so he started to fly down toward this little tiny creature. The little tiny creature, of course, was Ovaltorque. And when Ovaltorque looked up, he could see a bird in the sky. He couldn't tell how big it was because it was far away. But the more he looked, the bigger it got. And he thought, that is a big bird. And it got bigger and bigger as it got closer and closer. And Ovaltorque thought, that is a really big bird. And all of a sudden, Ovaltorque was standing in the dark because the bird flying above him and close to him shadowed the sun. And Ovaltorque was standing in that shadow. And then plop, this bird landed beside him, and it was huge. Ovaltorque wasn't afraid, he was curious. He said, "What are you?" "I'm an eagle," said Buzz. "An eagle? Do you have a name?" "Yes, my name is Buzz Eagle." "Your name is Buzz Eagle?" "That's right. What are you?" "I'm a lidup," said Ovaltorque. "A lidup? What's a lidup?" A lidup is a little people." "Little people?" "Yeah." "Oh, yeah, you're little." "And you are. You're just like a person." "So you are a person." Just a very small one. Yeah, that's right, said Ovaltorque. Well, what are you doing here? Well, I saw the sea. I've never seen it before. I've heard of it. And it looks amazing. It's so big. I think it's it's the Atlantic Ocean, said Buzz. That's what I thought. My father told me about that. Wow. I'd love to see more of it, but I don't know how. Well, you can fly over it, said Buzz. Oh, I don't know how to fly, said Ovaltorque. Buzz thought for a minute, and then he said, I'll give you a ride. Would you like to climb on and go see more of the ocean? Oh, that would be amazing, said Ovaltorque. Okay, said Buzz, climb on. So Ovaltorque grabbed onto Buzz's feathers and climbed up onto his back. And Buzz said, you better climb up a little higher, get up by my neck so you can hold on better. So Ovaltorque climbed up onto Buzz's neck and put his arms, well, not all the way around it, but as far around his neck, what seemed to be his neck, as he could. And Buzz said, ready? And Ovaltorque said, ready. And Buzz stretched out those wings, and Ovaltorque looked one way and the other and saw how far they stretched and was amazed. And then Buzz pulled them down and they lifted off the sand. And Buzz raised them again and pulled them down and they lifted higher. And he did that a few more times and soon they were high up in the air and Ovaltorque looked down. It was amazing, and now he could see much further than he could when he was on the ground. And the water stretched as far as he could see. And Buzz flew out over the water, over the Atlantic Ocean. And soon that's all Ovaltorque could see was water everywhere. And he looked down and there were little waves on the ocean, which actually weren't so little. They just looked little because Buzz was up so high. And then Ovaltorque saw little fluttery things in the waves and he said, what are those? And Buzz said, what? And Ovaltorque said, there, in the waves, in the water. And Buzz said, oh, that's a school of fish. And Ovaltorque said, a school of fish? You mean fish are going to school? No. Buzz said, that's what you call a group of fish, a school of fish. They may be going to school, but they're swimming as a school. Look how they follow the leader. And sure enough, as Ovaltorque looked down, one of the fish who was in the front went one way, and all the fish went that way. And then the fish went the other way, and all the fish went the other way. And then the fish went straight ahead, and all the fish went straight ahead. And then all of a sudden, they disappeared. Where'd they go? Said Ovaltorque. Oh, they must have gone down deep, said Buzz. Maybe something is chasing them. Down deep, thought Ovaltorque. I wonder what it's like down there. And while he was wondering what it was like down deep, something broke through the waves, leapt up in the air, and then plopped back down in the water, making a big splash. And then it did it again, leapt up in the air. It had a long nose, and it had a fishy tail, and it plopped back down in the water. And Ovaltorque said, what's that? And Buzz said, oh, that's a dolphin. I think it's Dilly. And Ovaltorque said, dolphin? Dilly? Yeah, said Buzz. My friend, Dilly-Dally Dolphin. And Ovaltorque said, well, are dolphins fish? And Buzz said, well, they're like fish. I think they're mammals. But we can talk about that later. You can think of them as fish. Would you like to go visit with Dilly a little bit? Well, that would be amazing, said Ovaltorque. So Buzz folded his wings and they dove toward the water. And Ovaltorque felt the wind whistling by him, and he held on to Buzz's neck. It was so exciting, and his hair was flying back. He thought it might blow off his head. They were going so fast. And then when they got close to the water, Buzz stretched out his wings, and they leveled off, and they were flying above the waves. And up popped that dolphin. And the dolphin said, in a funny sort of clicking voice that Ovaltorque could understand, "Hi, Buzz. How are you?" And Buzz Eagle said, "Fine, Dilly. How are you?" And Dilly said, "Fine. I'm fine. What do you got on your neck there?" And Buzz said, "This is Ovaltorque, the Lidup." And Dilly said, "A Lidup? What's a Lidup?" "It's a little people," said Ovaltorque. "That's what I am, a little people." "Oh," said Dilly, "never seen one of you before. Want to come in for a swim?" "Oh, I don't know how to swim." "Well, I can teach you." "Oh, Buzz, that would be so much fun. Do you swim, Buzz?" "No," said Buzz Eagle, "I don't swim, but I fly right above the waves so I can talk to Dilly. We have a lot of really good conversations. I'm afraid I've got to take you back to the beach now. So this is not a good time to swim with Dilly. But some other time, I'll bring you back out to see Dilly, and maybe you can go swimming. Dilly will give you a swimming lesson." "Oh, I'd like that," said Ovaltorque. "Well, you come on back and visit any time you want," said Dilly. "You leaving, Buzz?" "Yes," said Buzz, and he raised his wings again and brought them down, and he lifted off above the water higher and higher, and he dipped one wing and they turned toward land, and Ovaltorque looked back, and Dilly leapt out of the water again and wagged his tail as if to say goodbye, and then splashed back in the water and was gone. They flew back to the beach, and Buzz Eagle landed, and Ovaltorque climbed off. And Buzz Eagle said, "Well, here you are, Ovaltorque. I've got to go fishing. Would you like to take another flight over the ocean? Another time?" And Ovaltorque said, "Oh, Buzz, I would love that." And Buzz Eagle said, "All right, whenever you want to. You just come out from your home under the rock and come down to the beach or wherever you want to be. And you call out, 'Buzz, Buzz, Buzz Eagle,' and I'll hear you, and I'll come and get you." "Oh, great, Buzz. Is it all right if I do it tomorrow?" "That'd be fine with me," said Buzz Eagle. And then he stretched his wings out, and he lowered them, and he lifted off the beach, and he stretched them out again and lifted off the beach, and one more time, and he was high in the air. And Ovaltorque waved goodbye to him, and Buzz dipped his wing as if to say goodbye to Ovaltorque, and then he was gone.